Hello. I am sorry, but I must
31
interrupt this
Grammy.
show.
Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn how we do. Hey.
They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we gone. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you man. I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip, and I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Got you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch. I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we hit. They said we on. They said we strong. They said we gone. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we in. They said we on. They said we strong. They said we go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right.
Hello. It has been a little bit of time since I've done a Behind Them Six episode, and I actually have a few people scheduled. I didn't expect to do one tonight, though. I tell you that much. I did not expect to do one at all tonight. I was more or less just kind of, going through my phone, checking and see, doubling back, talking to some people, seeing who, I could, get scheduled for the next few episodes and whatnot. And I just so happened to see another piece of footage from this freaking maniac right here named Mint Blitz. And I was just like, you know what? I've been hitting bro up for like a year and a half, maybe 2 at this point. I don't know. I've lost count. It's been a little while. But he hit me back randomly and he's like, yo, actually, I'm free in about 12 hours. And I was like, oh, today is Thursday, the day that I usually do this show. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. Let's go on ahead. So thank you so much, Mint Blitz, for accepting this invite today to be on the show, talk a little bit about your history with gaming, your history with Halo, which seems to be, quite large. So go on ahead, let everybody know where they can find you and everything. Let's go on ahead and get to chatting, brother.
Hey, man. So yeah, as you introduced, my name is Mint Blitz. Everyone calls me Remy. I've played Halo for almost 25 years now. I can't believe the damn franchise is that old. As you said, I've been doing a bit of Splitgate, a bit of Marathon when that whole thing was happening, mainly Halo. And just look up my name on any social media and I'll pop up. So yeah, good to be here. The Halo guy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Halo guy, Rachie. That is correct.
Yeah, the Halo guy. That's right. So you've talked about how you recently played a little bit of Marathon. We'll get into a little bit of that. I'm obviously going to ask you about the other game that happens to be Arc Raiders, if you've even tried that or what you think about that. Kind of curious on your thoughts, of course, with other games like Call of Duty, upcoming Battlefield, maybe even, hardware and stuff like that, where that's going and stuff like that. But before we kind of get down that far
Sure.
into the future. I kind of want to go back because I always like to take it back to when we were just kids, just looking to have enough time before bedtime to be able to get a little bit of time in to the game and whatnot. And I just got to ask you, where was your first start when it came to gaming? What was like the first console that you got to sink your teeth into for the first time? Not the first thing you like, not the first thing that you ever picked up, but like the first thing that you sat down properly.
Yeah. So the first thing was just the original PlayStation. So it came with Gran Turismo. And you had like Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, that sort of thing. It's really funny. Dad wouldn't get me a new game until 100% of the game, so I needed to like complete absolutely everything, and then I could have a new game. But PlayStation was my first little
trained since a child. Got it.
Yeah. There was one game on PlayStation that was the sweatiest, hardest single player game I'd ever played. It was called, what was it? Omega Boost. And that is such a random game that I don't think anyone would know what that is. But you basically fight in like this mech Gundam suit in the middle of space, fighting like these robotic aliens. And it's kind of like an arcadey game, like those arcadey games where you have like a set amount of health. And you, when you complete a stage, you don't start the next stage with full health. You start with the amount of health you had from the previous one. After like 2 boss fights, 20 waves of enemies, and then the next one you go into it starts with another boss fight, and if you only had a little bit of health left, well, that's the end of the game. You can't like continue further. 6-year-old Remy doing that, it's an absolute nightmare. But PlayStation, and then Halo. I actually one of my friends down the street when it first came out, just went to his house, and he was playing Sidewinder Split Screen. If you know that map, the snow map from Combat Evolved, the multiplayer one. And then they got to
Sidewinder is great.
Yeah, and they played the last mission of Combat Evolved, and they're like, no, you're too young, you can't do the Warthog run. And then Mum ended up getting me a Hulk bundle Xbox. Came with a Hulk controller, and that was my. And then we had
green one,
yeah, and then we had all the people in the neighborhood coming to hang out. So that's kind of my first experience.
So getting the Hulk Xbox was a big turning point, but you started originally with that PlayStation. Gran Turismo was really big. Crash Bandicoot. Those are games that I loved growing up as well, like Tekken, the original Tekken. I remember in the long box that came out. Ridge Racer was another fantastic game back in that time. I was really big into Sega when the PlayStation first came out.
Nice.
But I eventually converted over there. Just those, I don't know. They had such a extensive collection of games.
Xbox or PlayStation?
So long. No, PlayStation when they came out with the original PlayStation, right? Gran Turismo was, it was insane. Gran Turismo 2 was my favorite of the two of that generation. Because they had such an expansive amount of cars in that second one. It was insane. But once you got that Halo on that Hulk Xbox, I want to know, what was that like? How long did it take until you were like starting to do the why am I slipping on the name? Well, not the batshit crazy stuff, because we'll get into that. I'm talking about like when you started doing the System Connect and stuff like that. Did you ever get into that, or were you just kind of like you played on your own?
So when I'm thinking the timeline. I was probably about 9 or 10, which would have been 2003, 2004. That's when we're heading into Halo 2. Halo 2 is where kind of like we had more like Combat Evolved. I played when it like came out, but Halo 2 is where it really, I guess more people knew of Halo. It became really, really culturally relevant. So lots of kids from class down the road, they would just want to play Halo. So they'd end up at my house. So we'd have either 4 to 8 of us just playing every single weekend. We'd either be doing BMX bike jumps, and then the council workers would come and destroy the bike jumps after every weekend. They'd come with a shovel and just flatten everything. And then we would come back the next weekend and then build it all up again. They eventually concreted.
Well, technically, we were vandalizing when we were doing that, but you know, I mean, to be honest, I mean, we were using their shit. Like, I mean, let's be real. I remember myself dragging their 2x4s and shit like that. My cousin was a little bastard. He would scavenge old, you know, half smoked cigarettes, pick them up and smoke them, and oh yeah, it was disgusting. And and I'd be setting up the ramps and stuff like that, and we jump off of all sorts of different stuff. So I totally know what you're talking about.
I noticed we have, this is just unrelated, but I noticed like our generation. I don't know how old you are. I'm 30, turning 31, but
I'm 36.
Oh, perfect. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Seems like our generation had the perfect balance of like we had that old school growing up as technology started to really take off. So we got like the best of both worlds. Like we had like you're outdoors to like the lights are going to come on the street lamps and you come home. But then you also like say when we hit like say 12 to 18 in that period, we had like all the online gaming taking off as well. And it was kind of new and it was different. Like we even had social media taking off, all the phones. Like when I was like 12 and I had my first phone, like it could play Snake and that's it. Maybe some text messaging, but that's it. Nowadays it's different world. So I feel like we had best of both worlds. Sorry, that's a tangent, but yeah, you've made me.
No, man, I thought it was a breakthrough when we got Brick Breaker on a phone. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Got Brick Breaker over here, and then soon after that, like
picking your ringtone. Oh, Mexican hat dance went so hard back then.
Man, I remember. I don't know how many people had the Riding Dirty song or the or Get Low from Lil Jon or something like that. Like it was appropriate during that time to have the most ratchet ass song just playing in the middle of the store, and everyone's like, "Oh, that person's just getting a phone call."
Yeah, and
nobody cared.
People would just buy songs for ringtone for $1. I remember that, and it's just normal. Different time, I guess.
Yeah, different time. Oh man, that was a pirating time.
Oh, 100%. Everyone was just building CDs of LimeWire all the time.
Oh, LimeWire, BearShare, Kazaa, Morpheus, Napster, all those. I mean, I'm just showing how much of a deviant I was, but yeah, most of that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyways, moving forward. So you said Halo 2 is really where you got to start kicking off on Halo, but let's talk about something else other than that. Just that to get started, because I mean, obviously we're going to be talking about a lot of Halo. What else on like the Xbox kind of interested you? Was it just Halo during that time, or was there like more of a category of games? Because obviously you transformed into being big into Halo, but I'm sure you were kind of branching out and trying out other things during that time too.
Yeah, I did. When I was a kid, Call of Duty 3 just came out. That was fantastic. And then obviously heading into Call of Duty 4, also phenomenal.
Insane.
Oh, very good games. We also had, there's a game called Black. I don't know if it is a first-person shooter on the original Xbox.
Yeah, it has all the bullets on the cover and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah. Oh, so far ahead of its time. Probably shouldn't have been playing this, but Max Payne, the first Max Payne, I played that. I love the slow-mo where you're shooting the guns. Very cool.
That game was extremely inappropriate for a kid to play.
I should not have been playing it, but and it was just and then just like standard like GTA. A couple of my friends had WWE wrestling games, like just a whole bunch of everything. Like you're a kid, so you play a bit of this, bit of that. But yeah, the main staples were just Halo, Call of Duty, Black. And I'm trying to think if there's any. No, that's about it.
Okay, so it's nice that you had that like wide array of different things to play. But now let's go back to Halo, because you said Halo 2 is what kind of sprung off that like ambition to like just keep going and keep working and just keep playing and playing. And multiplayer was a big thing that was introduced into that game, right? So like you're able to play somebody on the other side of on the other side of the world and be able to talk to them. Talking crap was pretty popular back then in the game. You were fairly young. I was kind of young during that time when that game was coming out and really getting popular on the original Xbox. Tell me what really kind of gassed you up about that game.
To be truthfully honest, so Australian internet at that time was absolutely horrible. Not many people actually had broadband. You always had the dial-up internet. So a lot of my time before I really got into Halo was RuneScape. You've heard of RuneScape. A lot of like online PC stuff, because your internet connection didn't matter as much. Heading into Halo 2, it was more it really picked up heading into Halo 3, because Halo 2 was good, but online with the internet connection, and still to this day, it's not amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's not amazing. So it's just local stuff. But when the 360 kicked off, and my friend had broadband internet, I took my 360 for the first time to his house, and he had to do like 3 years worth of updates onto the 360 just so it could play online. And back with internet speeds, it would take like hours. I think like 6 hours to 6 to 8 hours just to update all the 360 stuff. Cut a long story short.
You ain't lying. It took me a whole day to download a Red Dead 2 when that came out, and that was only back in like 2018. So like, to think all the way back in the 360 days, I mean, those were times where we were waiting like a few hours for just one song if you had good internet to download. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but continue.
No, it's like that is, you've just mentioned the exact reason why games had to launch finished, because it was very, very rare for a Xbox title at that time to get a live pushed online update, because the infrastructure just wasn't there. So it forced developers to have games out of the box that were done. That's just a tangent. When it picked up was Halo 3. My first day, I played a playlist called Lone Wolf, which is the ranked free-for-all playlist. I got to 14, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then Mum told me that she got broadband. So I was like, what, so I can play Halo at home now? And she's like, yeah, you can. So I took it home, and I got a 44, which is 50 is general. So 50 is the highest rank on Halo 3. And on the first day, I was 44, and I was like, we could do something with this. And I just kept playing it. So I played, and like, it's funny, like, 5 minutes that way, I met a guy who I'm still friends with to this day. The other way, 5 minutes that way, met a guy that way. I still know them to this day. We play Splitgate 2 like best friends. I guess that kind of helped me keep doing it, but everyone was playing Halo 3. Like, I don't have to tell you, it was absolutely cultural. It was the Fortnite of my generation, pretty much. Everyone was playing Halo. If you weren't playing it, you definitely knew what it was. But
it was during that time, it was almost becoming like, you know how parents or older folks, when they refer to a console, sometimes they say, hey, stop playing Mario. They'd be like, hey, stop playing Halo, when you're not even playing Halo sometimes. They just didn't know what the Xbox was. Get off of Halo and let's go. And you're not even playing that game. It was just such a popular name that it almost became like the console.
Yeah. Makes you think about.
I mean, that and the Gears of War game for 360. That was serious.
I played so much Gears, like an unhealthily amount. I got the Seriously 2.0 achievement on Gears 2 without doing the boosting on the campaign.
All right. So, you're certified out of your mind. Got it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nailed it.
I'm very excited. For, like, are you playing the new Gears beta this weekend? Because I got it installed. I'm ready to go. Some of the guys
I
I
mean,
follow.
I mean, now that I'm all finally moved in, because like I told you, I just got here. And shout out to Sir X Man in the chat. He said, "Hey, I'm so I like your new space, man. You have a lot more room. I do, and it is a lot nicer."
You're right, Matt. By the way,
But
my dad took me to the Halo 3 midnight launch. So Matt said midnight launch. I see you in the chat. Yeah, Dad took me to the same thing. I was 12. It was absolutely packed. Like, we're talking 500-600 people out of this like tiny gaming store. And I went to every midnight launch past that. So I did Reach, 4, MCC, and then the last one was Halo 5. And the Halo 5 one was so dead that they ordered like 40 pizzas. I got to take home 4 of them because no one turned up. And it was just funny to see how it went over time.
Jeez Louise, that's that's pretty rough. But isn't Halo 5 like one of the most sold Halos of all time?
Probably is, but I guess maybe the midnight launch era, it was going more online. But
I think it's just everybody downloading the game and not really.
No one really showed up for it.
Not really come. Yeah,
I think something's lost.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
I thought they were great.
They were fun. Do you remember the midnight launch where you got like the little blow up swords?
Never got
to
them.
Be able to run. Oh man, those were super cool. I think I got one of those during the ODST launch.
Damn. I don't think I went to the ODST one actually.
Is that? Dude, the ODST one was pretty lit. Because it was right after Halo 3, right?
Yeah,
so everyone was still hyped. And ODST came out and it was like a different style of playing Halo. So it was just like, it was a really interesting time for sure. Thank you, Matt, for saying that. I actually have something. I'm gonna bring his name back up a little bit later, but because it has to do with something I got to ask you. But before, but I'm not quite there yet. So now I got to ask. So Halo 3, you said Halo 2 was pretty big, but broadband really got bigger and better. And the internet infrastructure in general just got much better. So Halo 3 became a bigger deal. You started to notice, skills develop and getting bigger, getting higher level within that game. When did you start just kind of? At what point did it feel like you were just toying around? Because like when I watch your stuff, like whether it's the MCC stuff or Infinite or a newer game, Splitgate, or something from older that you're showing off from like a mod or something like that.
Yeah,
you seem to just like it just looks like a demonstration of somebody that made the game that's playing, and they're playing on God mode, and it's just like I really don't want to be on the other team.
That kind of started so 2009. There was a guy called Anoj, and he did a top 10 series. So Anoj had his top 10 Halo 3 countdown. So he had like top 10 multi kills, top 10 awesome kills, top 10 unique kills, and it would just be the community submitting clips. So there's like an iconic one where on the pit where the rocket launcher spawns, he banks a sniper rifle bullet randomly, and there's like a tiny little gap like that, and it goes bang, 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 like 40 different ricochets, and it took some guy's head off, and I'm like, that is so cool. And then there was a guy called Campy, and he did Halo montages. Were very, very popular. So the Campy did Halo 3 montages, and there was a whole YouTube channel dedicated. It was called FB Walshy for the win. Heaps of montages by very, very talented people, and it's funny. Those people who did montages on that channel, they've worked on movies now. They work in ILM as like, they basically they work on the new Jurassic Park. Like from them starting as a Halo editor on montages, they've literally transitioned into some of the biggest movie editors who work on the biggest projects in the world, which is awesome to see.
That's insane.
it's so awesome to see. Even like there's some really big time content creators who absolutely adore Halo, like because they've got their start on Halo. It's like, and even with my audience, and I've noticed that Halo seems different to other games in terms of the people who watch. Like they're so dedicated. So even after all of these years, it's very strong. When the unique stuff started, yeah, I watched so many montages and just top 10 things that I was like, ooh, I want to try that. So I would take a mongoose to the top of the map. I'd get a gravity hammer and a trip mine. I'd smack it with a hammer and I'd send the debris across the map. And hopefully it would bonk someone in the head. And it just continued. When people started seeing that sort of thing, though, I had years worth of clips saved up. So I always uploaded. I always uploaded, but I used either copyrighted music or I didn't optimally, because how you market yourself is everything. I didn't upload it the way I guess the YouTube algorithm at the time would have liked. And then the short clip era came out. There was no YouTube Shorts yet, but TikTok was taking off. So YouTube was like, well, how do we capitalize on this? I know what we'll do. We're going to push short form videos really, really hard. So I uploaded as the very first clip, and you would have seen this one, the one where I throw the grav lift, it launches the bubble shield up. The guy goes, what the hell? And then I snipe him in the head. That one was like the thing.
Yeah.
Everything. And then I was like, well, I do have like 30, 40, 50 clips just sitting here in 28-second bites. Let's just do one a day and see what happens. People are home because of the pandemic. No one was going out anywhere. Lots of people
taking advantage. Perfect timing.
Everything aligned. You had the YouTube algorithm that aligned for me. I had the pandemic, so everyone was home. Halo MCC just went to PC, so all the old games were all the rage again, at least and leading up to Infinite. I'm not going to discredit the hard work. Like I was working 12 to 14 hour days to get some of those unique trick shots done. Like the amount of work that it actually took to get them and edit them, I would not put on my worst enemy. But I had a big degree of luck to get that everything to align together. Probably a longer answer than you expected, but it started with Halo 3.
No.
People's videos.
No, that's not that was exactly what I was looking for. So with that being said, so obviously, you know, you had the trick shots and stuff like that came up, especially, you know, near the time during the pandemic, like really reached a higher height. But, you know, those were some trick shots. Like trick shots are one thing, right? But being able to be in a match with people that are actually running around, and it's like, it's just kill after kill after kill after kill after kill after kill. And like, I can literally keep saying that until it seems like the game is over.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's just, it looks like you're out there playing Doom.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That actually, for all the shit I give Halo 5, the skill-based matchmaking was so unbelievably strict. And I was playing it, I was at college, university, we call it over here at the time. I was just playing it like all the time that I had spare. I'd either go gym, I'd be at university, or I'd be playing Halo 5. And the searching was so strict, I would play for 6 to 8 hours and have 15 seconds to show for it. That little of content, because it was that competitive. But it forced me to improve. Like I remember, I spoke to the engagement developer, so the one who's in charge of the skill-based matchmaking and who you match during Halo 5. And he said to me, Remy, at your skill bracket, there is 14 players available. So of the tens of thousands of people, and that was Fiesta. So if you know Halo, Fiesta is random weapons. So for a casual game mode,
love Fiesta,
which is the most popular game mode on Halo, I could match 14 people in the world. And yeah.
So you'd be waiting.
Yeah. I was
You
like,
were waiting for a long time for a match.
oh yeah, especially being in Australia, all the Americans would get into their lobby, and I'd be the outlier. So I'd be on the side. I'd be waiting sometimes like 2, 3, 4 hours for a game where I'd just be like doing something else, and I'd hear Slayer across the house. I'm like, oh, I got a game! Run! Like,
He makes it sound like a
games,
DoorDash alarm. He was like, "Oh shit, I got to order."
Yeah.
So let me go run down and go take care of this bitch.
To be honest, that is crazy. It should not be like that, but it's how it was. And because
Is
of
it
that,
still like that?
yeah, it is. But nowadays,
I mean, because you say that's for Halo 5, right?
yeah. So for Infinite, because Halo 5 was on Xbox, so because my region played into it, I would always miss the boat. You could call it that. So all the Americans would get into a lobby. The Aussie guy would miss out because of just regional issues. If it went below, like if there was no Americans, then it expands to me, and then I get into the game. Nowadays, I can use a VPN and just say I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I just get game after game after game after game, and it's much better. It's funny how that works. But yeah, when
So let me ask you this then,
yeah,
and then I'm sorry. Then you can continue.
no, that's fine.
But seeing that there are light numbers like that, and Xbox is kind of making its push to be more multi-platform,
Mhm.
does that excite you knowing that it's going to be more
yeah.
players available,
Oh,
possibly for
yeah. Mhm.
for you to tarnish and
Exactly.
throw into the dirt and
So
make
for
feel like
me-
ass?
for me, I'm in the unique position, and it's good that I get to talk about this a little bit. I have two different groups of players. So when a game first comes out, I have the Australians. They don't last very long. It's the first population to die, but I have a core group of Australians. I'd say around 10,000 people who try Halo, and I get to verse them in the nighttime. Throughout the day in Australia, I verse all the Americans. So depending on what I'm feeling like, depending on the playlist I want to search, I can either verse the Aussies or I can verse the Americans. And Halo, you can be good regardless of high ping. So thank God for that. But yeah, it's kind of funny in a way. So yes, with it going to PlayStation, hopefully there's more Australians or more Oceania people so I can verse them. But yeah. Halo 5 was so sweaty. Like, it was just ridiculous. So it forced me to improve. And then I judged how good I was by how many multi-kills I got. So you said you get a kill, you get a kill, you get a kill. I would beat myself up if I wasn't. I am really harsh on myself in terms of skill level. That's why I improved, because I was like, people say this is great, but to my own standards, I'm not happy with this. So I need to improve and get better. And just even when Infinite came out, I absolutely spent, I think I have like 7,000 hours on Infinite as of me like talking to you right now. It's a lot of hours. So
my wife has a lot of time on that game too. She has 83 days
83
on Halo.
Someone in the chat, what's 83 times 24? Get back to us, please. See how many days that is. How many hours that is. But
how many hours? I think I can figure that out real quick.
Multiplication,
right? Times 24. 1992.
Nice.
So she's doing all right. She ain't got 7,000 now. She don't have 7,000.
She doesn't do it for a job. So I mean,
very true.
Yeah, because people are like, Remy, you got so much time played on this game. Like, you have no life. I'm like, well, you do your 9 to 5. That's 8 hours a day, and I got to do editing after that. So I mean, it makes sense. 4 years, 8 hours a day. The hours get up there, and you have to be better than everyone else, because one thing I've noticed is that every single day, every single game I play, people are always out to, is he really that good? Is he that good? Like,
yeah. There's somebody in the chat right there that says, "You meet me, I will body you."
Yeah.
And I know it's just That's not not going to be the case.
Every single
But please tell me. Please tell me. Continue.
every single day, like, I'll, people don't know this, but I'll match a lot of streamers, and I'll just be lurking in their chat. I listen to them talking shit. If I went in there and said, "Hey," they're like, "Oh my god, hi Remy, how's it going?" And then if I'm just lurking and they don't know, I'm then like, "Yeah, fucking mid blitz, fucking," and I'm like, I'm just like, hold on,
I bet it's a ball. I bet you have a ball with it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, half the time, like, I just notice that every game I play. I mean, it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong; it's a good thing that people recognize me because it's better for my branding that way. But I
Right.
noticed that there's always like there's something to prove every single match. So in terms of relaxing,
Mhm.
I never get to relax playing Halo. It's always like, well, there's a set expectation of how I'm supposed to perform every single game, and all it takes is one clip or one thing. And I've seen this, like, a guy ninjaed me in Halo, but really I ninjaed him and he ninjaed me, and it both said ninjaed each other because of the high ping, like we both whacked each other in the back. Posts it on Reddit, 5,000 likes, and they're all saying, "Yeah, you destroyed him," and I'm like, "Huh? What is going on?" Like, I don't get it. But yeah, it's like they're out
It
to
never stops. So I
never.
bet.
And like people get sick. People have sniped me once in game, 50,000 views on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm not unkillable. Like, it's. And then you have the Twitch chat. Like, you have the Halo Championships. They have a championship series, and they have their events. I think it was the one Optic hosted, because they sometimes FaZe hosts it or SSG hosts it. This one was Optic.
Mhm.
The entire chat was like, Mint Blitz could have won that. Mint Blitz could have won before them. Mint Blitz could have done this. Mint Blitz could have beaten the pros. Mint Blitz. And I'm just like, please, you're going to get my name banned in the chat. And we're not talking like, say, 10 people or 20 people. We're talking like 200 people. And it's just spamming it nonstop. And then on top of that, you got the people who absolutely despise me. So you got some people that really like me, and you got some people that absolutely hate me.
Just some of them professionals. Like obviously you ain't got to say no names. Please don't actually. But are some of those that really dislike you a lot in like some of them like high ranking matches?
Honestly, the most all of the top level pro players all really, really like me, respect me, and talk to me like we're best buddies. Like,
That's awesome.
there is only one pro player, and it's because he's got a massive ego. And no, I'm not going to say what his name is, but that means I can tell you the story. He was playing a Halo 5 custom game to try and impress a girl. And I joined the game just because I was friends with the group, and I ninja'd him, and I was like, you've never seen a guy go quiet and start trying to absolutely demolish me in a custom game in your life. And he always carried a chip on his shoulder in regards to me because of that. And he's on the top team. Like, he's a top level player, but everyone thinks he's an absolute little brat. So you can guess who that is. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but there's some tea for you, which I always found funny, because whenever I see him playing now, I'm like, but
That's dirty, bruh.
a lot of the top players are they're really, really kind. It's just the ones that are like a level below that, because they're like, oh, he can't. It's funny how I see the same things pop up all the time that are said. So even when the game first came out, I was like top 0.1% in terms of the ranked playlist. I was like almost best in the country, and then top 200 in the world, or whatever. 0.1% is the highest you can see. And then there's no stats on Halo anyway. You have to use Halo Tracker, an external website. Silly, but
right.
It took them 3 years to add a leaderboard. Anyway, cut a long story short, I got top 0.1% in all 5 ranked playlists. Then I got rank 1 in one of the playlists. Then when rank free-for-all was a thing, so I was like, well, maybe they care more about individual skill. I think I was second in the world for that. And I'm just like, all right, well, I've done that now. I'll put the videos out so if people are curious, they can check it out. Um, Still, like, I give it a year later, they're like, you never play ranked, you could never do it. And then I'll do it again. I'd give it a year. You can't play ranked, you'll never do it again. I just notice the same thing comes up. And I'm just like, at some point, like, you just stop caring, which is probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing. Like,
Yeah, it
you,
is a good thing.
yeah, like
100%. Yeah.
you just do your thing, and people seem to enjoy it more when I'm doing my thing. And then some people are like, Remy, why don't you compete competitively? You've obviously got the skill set and the knowledge to do so. One, I'd have to move to America, which I don't want to do. But two, it is way more lucrative, and it gives you way more exposure to be a top level content creator. Because I don't know how much you followed the competitive scene for Halo, but there's a lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of people just drop people at the drop of a hat, and just
Yeah.
days before tournaments.
My wife's in a few of the communities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was like watching one of like the pro level communities as they were like streaming and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like doing drugs on the on the camera and stuff like that.
Seriously?
You could see them.
Seriously?
You can see them
I
doing
didn't
stuff
know
like that.
that.
And my wife was like, "Yo, look at this," because she's really not into that stuff, right? And
There's no. I didn't even know that.
yeah, and she showed me that, and I was just like, I mean, we don't know the names of any of these people, but we were just like, and like they were like doing this thing where they were like going versus each other for a little while, then they take like a take like a little siesta for a little bit, and that's when you like kind of see it in the background and stuff like that. It's not like they were like on the camera doing it, but like you could see it off in the distance of the camera and be like, yo, I know what he's doing back there.
Was this an event? Like, is this like a LAN event?
No, this wasn't an event. This was an event. It was like a practice session.
Oh, yeah. Were they all hanging out together, or was like the one dude on his own, or?
It was just them like streaming to Discord.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
And what I don't think they were on Twitch or nothing like that doing that, which would be insane.
Well,
but
that's probably why I haven't seen it.
but yeah, it was just like in a like because she gets invited to all these like she's a woman, right? So she's getting invited to all these different communities and high level play because she got the highest that she got to was diamond.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty good. Top
it is good. I mean, this is like the only game that she plays. So like, I'm very happy for her. But she gets DMs all the time and like invites to like different communities, and it's wild.
I don't know if you knew this, but I dated someone for 5 years who was a woman in the Halo community. Like, and the messages like. And the Twitch donation, she streamed like all the time, and just the DMs and the donations, and I mean, standard girl on the internet stuff for sure, but more than that, like some of them were really creepy, and I'm like, thank God. Actually, I've had some really weird messages too. I don't know if this is like an MA15 plus stream or an R18 stream, or what I can say and what I can't say, but what I will say is
you're fine.
Okay, well, when I first blew up and I first had popularity, I had to turn my Discord DMs off because I had some certain photos from men sent to me every single day, and it said blurred for my protection. I could still see the fucking outline of it. Oh my God, every day,
every day.
Different guys, and I'm like, what are you? And I responded once to the guy who kept on doing it, and I'm like, why? And all he said was, I will never stop. And I'm like, oh my God,
I will never stop. Is his answer. Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
that is especially
Crazy, dude.
tough. you just gonna keep going. Did you block them or did you just let it roll?
Yeah. I turned my DMs off because they were just making new accounts at that point. And,
Oh yeah, that's right. You said you turned it off. That's right. That's literally insane. I can't believe somebody when you responded, they didn't be like, "Oh, my bad." They were like, they doubled down. They're like, "You're gonna get a lot more of this." Like, I hope you enjoy it. But anyways, oh man, that's nuts. But so I want to get to the next piece. I wanted to ask you that went way to the left, but that was very entertaining to hear. So obviously, Halo as an IP has gone through a crap ton of evolution through its time. So Halo 1 to Halo 2, Halo 3, big evolution, much bigger in size. What's cracking, Umbra? Good to see you, brother. I hope your show went well earlier, just a little bit ago, I'm sure. But then the Halo 4, different studio then completely, right?
Yeah.
Different studio. 343 is now running the show. Halo 5 comes out. Infinite and MCC and Infinite come end up coming out as well, with all of that. How has it been adjusting, and what do you think about the future of Halo now that it's now a rebranded studio of what they kind of was already, but now using Unreal Engine? I mean, that had to kind of get a lot of things going on in your mind when you heard that announcement last year at HCS.
Yeah. So first of all, you said Halo 4. So the big difference for Halo 4 was the Prometheans in the campaign. They weren't very fun to fight. So for me, that was a big thing.
It was like the same fight over and over.
Yeah. I didn't like fighting the mechanical enemies for whatever reason. It wasn't as satisfying. And the aesthetic of the New Covenant, the Rogue faction, I didn't like the dull grays. I know that 343 at the time said, look, Halo worked with Bungie stuff. We want to see if we can make it work with our way. Didn't land as well as they were hoping it would. It's just how it turned out. Halo 5, I'll just go through the timeline. Halo 5, I think, was a fantastic multiplayer game. One of the best Halo multiplayers that has ever come out. Stellar. Because it was made with competitive in mind, it meant that everything had to be, all the T's had to be crossed, all the I's had to be dotted. And it means over time, because I played it recently, it's aged really, really well. The campaign is just off. It's just... Anyway, MCC, unfortunately, just didn't have enough time in the oven. It was only, I think, and this is from conversations I had, and I did videos about this, it was only supposed to be Halo 2 Anniversary to start. That's why you have the Halo Anniversary multiplayer. But then Microsoft wanted every game all put together, and the technical challenges to put all of those games together within under a year, because you got Halo 5 as well coming out after MCC. You got to keep in mind 2014 to 2015. And then you got to port the Gearbox port of Combat Evolved, which is the PC version, upgrade it and get that onto the game. And you got Halo 2, which is already hard to work with. Then you got to put Halo 3 to 60 FPS. A lot of issues technically, and they just needed more time, which they didn't get. So it was Microsoft's own fault.
They didn't get the more time until the game was already out, and then it's like, all right, now you got a lot of time to deal with it, and it's like, all right, well, we're really just picking up a lot of pieces.
Pretty much. And then in a closed, and this is why they started doing flight tests, because in a closed test environment, the game actually it functioned when everything was fine. So you didn't have any people, no one quitting games, no one backing out of lobbies. In that small network, the game functioned because it had it didn't have all the quirks of a massive undertaking of people. Because I don't know if you knew this, but the big problem with the Master Chief Collection was you'd search for a game when it first came out. It would say players found, and you have, say, 7 out of 8. That last player, they're not even there anymore. So if someone searched and backed out, it would ruin that whole lobby of 8 players, and they would just sit there searching for hours. So you'd have to back out every minute and then search for a new game for your best chance of finding a game. And to this day on MCC, that is the best, most efficient way to get a game. It even works on Infinite. I don't know why. I guess maybe save networking. And then fast forward to Infinite. Infinite had a lot of troubles again because to get the game out the door from the pandemic, and this is even with the year delay, they had to take a lot of shortcuts because of the contracting and of the technical debt. So the shortcuts that they took really bit them in the ass when the game launched fantastic. Like, it was very fun. The campaign was received okay. Multiplayer was received very, very well. But they couldn't iterate on the content because the engine was a mess. And then on top of that, they took all these shortcuts that needed to be fixed. And that's why we had the whole year-long, I guess, hiatus without real new content because they just couldn't get it out. In saying that, Unreal, if it lets them, I've played a lot of games that were on different engines and they've gone to Unreal. I think it'll feel fine. I think it'll feel very, very close to Halo. I think it'll look beautiful. And if it lets them iterate on content faster and they're not held back by the old Halo engine, that's a good thing. I don't agree with Microsoft practices of using contractors because it seems to bite them in the ass whenever it happens. But if they're not going to change their policies, then if they can at least lessen the issue with the Unreal Engine and it works out good and we get more Halo games and they're good games, then that's great. I just want good games. I'm sure you do too. And I'm sure everyone in the chat does as well. So I'm being optimistic about it. Sure, they rebranded the studio because they were absolutely despised as 343 Industries. And many of the people don't believe that they've changed at all. But that
was kind of going to be my next question was was just kind of like, obviously with you working and like in and around playing Halo, like you must hear back like feedback from people. And I'm not here to ask you all this insider stuff because that's your business. And you know, I'm not the one to try to get somebody to do something silly. But I do got to ask, like, what is the kind of sentiment that you feel from in and around Halo Studios right now? Do you feel like there is any confidence, or do you feel like it's kind of lackadaisical, or like, I don't know, kind of take it from there?
The one concern that I have, and it's because I heard this during Infinite's development, is that the teams across teams, because there's obviously, for example, there's a monetization team, design team, creative team, multiplayer sustain team, like there's all different divisions. A lot of them didn't have cross collaboration during Infinite's development. I don't know what's happening inside the studio. I hear things occasionally, but nothing definitive. They've really, the one thing I can say with absolute certainty is they have locked everything down. Does that mean I don't have people
tightened up?
So people do feed me stuff of what's going on, but I just hope there's cross collaboration between the teams, and I hope that people get to give feedback across those teams. So I feel like if everyone is giving their honest thoughts about things, then the game's going to equal a better product overall. Infinite's campaign barely had any time for people to give feedback, and by the time it did, it was too late to iterate on it and actually like implement the feedback. I mean, we're lucky Joe Staten, because I don't know if you knew this either, but Joe Staten came in. He was the Bungie creative director, and there was no Marines in the Halo Infinite campaign. And he wasn't being mean about it. He just said, hey, look, like, why isn't there Marines in the Halo Infinite campaign? They're pretty integral. Why aren't they there? And then the developer explained, well, it's an open world game or semi-open world. Before, we could linear develop a pathway for the Marines to drive and follow, but it is so broad now, it's a lot harder. So they're like, okay, well, what can we do? Because Joe gave feedback, and this was at a late stage of development, keep in mind, they just follow the chief. That's the best way. They did a proximity, stick with the chief, and that's how they got the Marines to follow them around. So it really speaks volumes. So I guess yeah, the big thing is like I really hope that there is collaboration and it's not just segregation between what's going on at the studio. Um, Time will tell, really. Like even if it's not like even if it's really stressful over there and they got their head down and they're working hard and things are absolutely like uh, on fire and SpongeBob's running around with his hands in the air. The game could still. I mean, Halo 2 was an absolute dumpster fire in development. It turned out to be one of the greatest games of all time. So, really, it comes down to them. You know what I mean? Like, they could launch an absolute banger of a game. If it is the Combat Evolved remake, everyone's rumored it's going to be happening on Unreal. All the assets they showed off looked like they were from Halo 1. I hope they knock it out of the park. I think everyone would share that sentiment. I don't want them to launch a damn broken game, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay. And I got a couple more questions left before we get up out of here because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'd say about 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
But the next thing I wanted to ask you is with, relevance of, the new Unreal engine and like the leaving of the slip space engine that was, do you feel like Halo should kind of restart, or do you feel like they should continue from where they left in Infinite, seeing that supposedly there's more story after Infinite?
Yeah. So,
but do you think that they want to tackle that, or do you think that they kind of want to jump on this? Because obviously you've seen the last few years, even a little bit before this generation, remasters have been like a thing. Like it started a little bit last generation, but it's been like a meat and potato thing this generation. Do you feel that Halo Studios, previously 343, is thinking about that, or do you think they're thinking about the future?
Yep. So the way I frame how all decisions are made with pretty much all games under Microsoft's umbrella is what's going to churn enough profit, like what's going to yield the most profit going forward. And typically remasters, they don't sell as much. You know what I mean? Like they did Halo 1 2001, they did Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary 2011, I think it was 2011, don't quote me on that. Didn't sell heaps of copies. So they got to keep that in mind. But also they're like, well, if they reboot Halo, it's going to be like Doom. So it's going to be a retelling of the story. It's going to start with the first game. I reckon it'll go through the trilogy, which makes me think there is, and I've spoken about this on videos, there is different lead developers and there are confirmed multiple projects. So I'm like, okay, one of them is the Halo Combat Evolved remake for sure, 100%. You have rumors that there's a multiplayer-only project by Certain Affinity. It was a battle royale. It became rumored an extraction shooter, which we'll see. And then we have, now no one knows what that's going to be, if they're even working on it or what's happening. Because, again, everything got locked down. So even the leakers have no idea. Then in the last 48 hours, someone who looked at the API, which is like you can see the game listings and the tags associated, he found that PlayStation is confirmed for Xbox. So PlayStation is confirmed for Halo. So that's interesting. And it's not MCC and it's not Infinite from what he said. So that means, it's probably the Combat Evolved remake. In saying that, if there is multiple lead developers and we just got the book announcement for the direct sequel of Infinite Story and people think there's going to be a continuation of that, it seems like they kind of split. It's hard to say because it feels like they're split. It feels like they're divided. Are they going to do this? What's going to happen? And what are they going to do about Master Chief's voice? That's another good thing. Like Steve Downs is 75, I think, 76. It's getting older.
He's going to be in Denver here soon. I'm going to go try to get a picture with him.
That's awesome. But you know what I mean? Like it's going to be, you got are they going to tie up the original Master Chief story with this last game? Is this going to be the last thing? They're going to wrap it up and it's just going to be like the end of that? Or are they going to do time travel and they're going to go back to Combat Evolved and retell it, and that's going to be the new thing? Are they going to recast the voice of the Master Chief, Cortana? I mean, they shouldn't recast Cortana because Jen Taylor does an amazing job, and she's still young and she's iconic. That's why they got her for the TV show. It's hard to say because it feels very. If you ask me, honest, like chest on heart, it feels divided. I know it's great they're working on multiple games, but it feels like they're going in two different directions. Where you have the continuation of Infinite story, and that may just be a standalone campaign. Then you have the Halo Combat Evolved remake. That might be the start of a new story. So where are they going to go with it? Like, I'm asking you now. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, they got these two different things that almost the finishing of a story and then the starting of a new generation. What are they going to do? Go. What are they going to do?
I mean, if you're asking me, I feel like they're going to go back to the early Halos, plural, but starting with the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to redo them, but they're not going to be as illustrious as maybe the newest Infinite that they're working on will be. I feel like maybe they'll make certain things maybe tie in and make a little bit more sense as it progresses through the story. Yeah. So then Infinite really makes sense and it can possibly regenerate some sort of player count within that game, kind of regenerate each game as it goes on. But I think they're really trying to nail the future of what Halo could be, because there's only so much past that you can make money.
Yeah.
Right. And you said that at the beginning of this. You said like redoing something really is nice. It doesn't always get more, but like, I mean, my homegirl Cozy always says it's for y'all old folks out there that love it. It's not for the new people. And that's where and that's why I think the bigger emphasis is going to be on the newer Infinite and how they then transform that. Because I think what they're going to want to do eventually with Infinite, and I want to know your opinion on this. I think maybe not in the new Infinite, but like what they're trying to do or what they think they maybe should do is get away from Chief.
Ooh, that is a good question. Yeah.
Get away from Chief and let's make a new storyline with somebody as or maybe more iconic.
Dangerous. It's dangerous.
Dangerous, yes. But
risk.
Like,
if they can pull it off.
But like, how long can you keep doing the same thing? Because it's already showing some bits of, boomerism for folks out there.
My audience is core demographic 18 to 32 or 18 to 35, and then below 18, 2%. If I was a Fortnite creator, it would be 50%. So it says a lot, right? In saying that, a lot of those guys are still gamers, right? And the difference between them and Fortnite kids is we got disposable income. So in that regard, they might be like, well, fine, we could be the boomer shooter, but it's going to be the boomer shooter with cashed up players that are going to be willing to spend money. And that's a lucrative market to be in. I say this because I've recently started expanding my content, right? And I did Marathon, I did Splitgate, I did other games. Halo, in terms of ad revenue, because that's how a YouTuber gets paid, I run ads on the video every 2 minutes, pays significantly higher than every other game because it's an older audience. And that is something, because Microsoft does so much user research. Like, they have such a division of just analyzing psychology, optimizing systems, things that you'll be like, whoa, this is so in depth, almost to the point of knowing the exact human psyche and behavior of people. It's their business to know, because it obviously equals better. That's why the matchmaking systems are so intricately woven, because they know how people are going to behave. It's a very nerdy answer, I know, but I guess that's the way I look at things. So I'm very analytical like that. It's going to be interesting. It may honestly come down to, look, let's just try an Unreal project with the new Halo Halo Combat Evolved remake, give us some good practice, work on the Unreal sequel to Chief's story, and we'll see what happens with that. We'll see which one performs well, because nothing's set in stone with game development. What I think is going to be the big question, and is what's going to be very interesting, is a Halo campaign is a Halo campaign. It'll be like almost like Doom. People will come on, they'll play it, they'll enjoy it, and then it'll fade away over time, as most campaigns do nowadays. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the life cycle of a campaign. Where the real longevity and staying power is going to be is where's the multiplayer going to go? I don't think the Combat Evolved remake is going to have a multiplayer. I don't think the Unreal Chief campaign will have a multiplayer either. I really think there's going to be a standalone, and this is not me saying I know stuff on the inside. I don't. This is just from everything I've observed. I reckon they're going to do a standalone multiplayer. And they're going to be thinking, how can we get in? This is where what you mentioned is important. It comes up. How are we going to get newer players to play? Because we're going to need newer players in some regard. Like, sure, we could rely on the older audience and we want them to be happy. But 343 was pushing for that expanded audience with Infinite. And if they could have iterated on a battle royale, because they tried to with Project Tatanka, it got cancelled basically because the engine could not handle the battle royale. But they tried. How are we going to get new players in? Are we going to do an extraction shooter and just nail it? They want that sort of thing. And I'd be foolish to say they're just going to stick to arena gameplay, because I know they're not going to. It's going to be interesting because they're in a position where they look at Infinite's player numbers, and it's 35 most played on Xbox, and it has like 4K on Steam. MCC has 6K on Steam, and it's sitting at like 37, 38th on the Xbox most played list. And this is supposed to be the most iconic franchise. So they're like, we got the population. They had 20 million players on Infinite when it first came out. They took a nosedive off a cliff because they couldn't iterate on content. And they know that arena shooters don't have the staying power, as you said before, as they once used to. Especially you said with like Chief being maybe people get a bit tired of Chief. I actually think it may play into their hands a bit because they haven't had a campaign in 5 years. So people are really hungry for a new game. I don't know about the Halo 5, Rachie, about when it happened, but how many players? But yeah, that's probably a longer answer than you planned on me to say. But
no, not exactly. Like, I'm just like thinking like when I say like do away with Chief, I don't mean like him being like out of Halo. I just mean like
a new focus on, say, like Spartan Jerome.
Something like that, or just like somebody coming into the picture that the new school can kind of grow up with as Chief kind of continues to do what he does. That way you could technically be able to kind of bounce back and forth. Like, I feel like after I got done playing like the most recent God of War game, I was like, all right, well, they're setting up Atreus to kind of be his own kind of standalone character, but I wouldn't mind if they continued with Kratos as well. So then it'd be kind of cool to be able to, okay, Kratos is doing his thing in this game, but then Atreus is trying to become his own man and going through his own trials. It'd be cool to, have that game too. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying
don't put all your eggs in one basket is what you're saying. Yeah, I get you.
Kind of that, but I'm also not saying that I'm looking for a Sad Dad simulator out of Halo. I'm not looking for that. I just want to see somebody that kind of can kind of let you know that Chief is not alone in this battle.
Yeah, well,
that there's some
people have wanted playable elites for such a long time. They so want the Arbiter back, man.
That's just as angry and demonic that he has just as him. And I know it sounds a little bit like I'm describing a little bit of Halo 5.
Yeah,
but I feel like he could be like an alien character. It doesn't even have to be a human.
Yeah, well, yeah, people wanted the Arbiter for ages, man. Like, they wanted to play as him again. But in saying that, have you, and maybe you could Google this real quick and pull it up, have you seen the Halo Infinite concept art of how Spartan Locke was supposed to look? Because he looked awesome. He looked amazing. If you look up Spartan Locke Halo Infinite concept art, he is literally wearing like a scarf. His armor's all tattered and torn, like he's been like behind the scenes. He looks awesome. Like he looks, and I reckon that would have been really relatable, and people would have loved that. But they changed the story drastically, and then we don't know what happened to anything really.
I almost wish you would have seen some like I don't know, like I guess some like reintroduction within like Infinite or something like that, where it's almost like you hear something from Locke and in Chief where they're like where they're on the same page finally.
Yeah.
You know, finally they're on the same page or something like that. But
And
anyway,
Halo
shout out to
5,
you.
they were like, well, all right, well, I guess we're on the same team now. And then it's like, but now he's gone. And everyone's like, okay, well, what happened? Well, no explanation. Tune in and find out. And everyone's like, well, I get that the created Cortana storyline was horrible, but there's still some stuff that I reckon. I know they wanted to get back to the roots of Infinite being like a solo Chief story. It's fine, but yeah, I guess it's just a lack of Halo across the board. Like, you could have, if you had an Arbiter standalone game where he was the main character, I mean, Halo 2 basically is Arbiter's game. There's more, like, he's front and center. I don't know. I just feel like more Halo would be good. I think that's something that you probably would agree with too. Like,
yeah, I can agree with that.
There are so many things like you could do. Literally, you could spitball ideas at me right now, and I would be like, "Yep, that would work. Yep, that would work too." And it's kind of like, why isn't it happening then? Because people would buy it. ODST is one of the most beloved games in the franchise.
Yeah, I love ODST just because it's my favorite Halo because it humanizes Halo. It kind of brings you to that, like, I'm not in that I'm not in that armor.
Yeah,
I'm not in that armor. I can die really quick.
Yeah, it's true. And then because like I've noticed we're in a time now. I've noticed with games where the culture has changed in the way that people just want good games. They don't have to be popular for ages, but they just want a good release. And I don't know if that's because of like how microtransactions went and how everything was like that. They just want a finished product with a good story, and they're going to enjoy it. And Halo could do so many different things, whether it be a horror flood game, whether it be an Arbiter standalone story, whether it be Helldivers, something about the ODSTs. Like, there's so many things to do, and if they're moving in that direction, the flood
could be made in so many different ways. Like, you could make a standalone game. Just with the flood. With the flood, and Chief doesn't even have to be in the game, and you can play as like.
Nope. Yep. You're right. 100%. You're right.
Like as like somebody that'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be great. But balls in their court, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see what happens. And just one more time, you guys, I haven't really said this throughout the show because I don't really like interrupting the show to say stuff like this. But please make sure to hit that like button, share this out if you can. I got the homie Mint and Blitz here with me talking all things Halo and multiplayer and just really gaming in general. And the next thing I'm going to ask you, because we're about to get out of here, but like you've been playing other games lately. So as you see, guys, on the thumbnail, I put Splitgate on there as well, because that's kind of a new big time game. I mean, Splitgate, the first one came out a little while back earlier, like really early at the beginning of this generation. And then 2 is out now and it looks really nice. the buttons are a little bit different than they were before. Now you only have to use one button to open the portal and shut a portal and stuff like that. The game always kind of felt and looked a little like Halo, but with portals. I got to ask you, not just with Splitgate, but like, what is your kind of feeling on games of today, and especially this kind of free, like live service kind of kick with games where, I mean, if Halo was in another developer's shoes, it might be shut down.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah.
For the performance that it has. But since it's such a big IP and Microsoft cares as much as they do about it, and there are, I mean, whether people want to believe it or not, there are a lot of diehard Halo fans that want to see that game continue to flourish.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
want you to tell me from your standpoint, what do you kind of feel about the New Day kind of battle royale scene dash extraction shooter dash, competing with Call of Duty type of stuff? And then after you answer that, because I know that's a thick question, I'll remind you in case you forget. But then I want you to tell me about what you thought about what that dude had to say on stage, and if you think he should have apologized like he did about it or not. But answer the first question first while you still remember.
All right. So about the live service thing, I think people are always looking for the next thing nowadays. So they seem to just move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. I hope Splitgate 2 has the staying power. I really do. Like it. The game is fun. Like that's the bottom line. The game is fun. I love playing it. And my friends who will not play Halo with me anymore because it's so sweaty when they join me, they actually enjoyed playing Splitgate 2's Battle Royale. And I hate Battle Royales. Like I hate them with a passion. But since I get to respawn and then fly around like a absolute crackhead, which you've seen from my clips recently, I've enjoyed it. I've really, really enjoyed it, which is great. In terms of the whole, I guess, state of gaming, I've noticed that they want, the way game developers have gone is like, we want games, if for the free to play ones, we know if we get them in the door and they like the game and they spend time on the game, they're going to spend money. And if they spend money over the long term, they're going to spend more than if they just outright bought the game. That's what they're aiming for. For me, because I don't buy microtransactions, it's great. I get free games and I get free updates, and I think that's wonderful. I don't have to buy any microtransactions. Do I like how they go about it? Absolutely not, because there's some things they do, and I'm sure you've seen over the years that they're just gaming companies don't really have. They're not player first. Let's just say that.
No, they're money first.
So I mean, if the content quality is good, then it's all good. There's things I disagree with, of course, but they're kind of like a necessary evil if they're doing a free-to-play game. Again, we'll see with the new Halo games if they're going to be free-to-play. I think the 2 campaigns they're working on, they'll be paid, and then the standalone multiplayer, which is what I think they're going to do, that will be free. We will see. As for what the guy said on stage and whether he should have apologized or not, he did a press release. I don't know if you saw this. They said they were looking for something with the short amount of time they had that would really get people talking. That is what he said he was trying to do. And he got people talking. He
sure did. He sure did.
And it's kind of like
it
kind of is the thing, ask for forgiveness, not for permission type thing. That's the way you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they were looking to make a mark, whether it be good or bad publicity. I know he said that it's probably like, well, it wasn't really our intention to piss off a lot of people, but honestly, like as an Australian looking at American culture at the moment, and I'm not getting political here at all, the country as a whole is very divided. So it doesn't take much to rile people up at the moment, especially because of how there's got 2 different sides of everything. So it's not a surprise that it got the reaction it did. Again, he did apologize about it because he said it wasn't his intent. So I take it on face value. It wasn't his intent. If he feels that's the right decision for him, he obviously obviously feels like by apologizing, it's the correct decision for the game's health. And if he's just trying to make the game better, which seems to be what he's doing, then that's great. I'm just taking him on face value of what his intent is. And his intent is for the game to be wonderful, and he's trying to make it as accessible to as many people as possible. I think that's a good thing. In terms of like staying power, though, with Splitgate 2 specifically, we'll see. I mean, I saw the population on Steam start at 25k. It's down to 15. We'll see what it's at this weekend. It is a weekday, so I mean, less people playing. The game's fun, so I hope they find their little niche slice in the gaming scene, and I wish them success.
No doubt, but do you feel like at all the scene itself with all these different type of gun games kind of doing the same thing, it's kind of not. I'm not sure
it's a competitive
how much it's growing.
It's competitive.
Well, it's like constantly pulling people away, once one game comes out, then another game comes out, then another game comes out.
You got a set group of people, and you want to take them away from the game they play every single day and make them play a different game every single day. And people may have only maybe 2 or 3 hours after work. Like if they got a family, if they got friends, if they got a bit of a social life, how long do they spend gaming? Like there might be some of us who play like 6 to 8 hours in a long sesh. But I've noticed as people get older, they don't have as much time. So they have like maybe 1 or 2 set games, and they might try out one. But if you're going to keep them there, that's the hard part. Even Halo, I mean, it had 200,000 people at launch, but then it tapered off heavily. How are you going to keep them around? That's the challenge. And I noticed that with the CEO coming out and just talking as a real human, that goes a long way with people. They resonate with that, like they're like, oh well, and that's why they got the initial population. I feel because it felt like Splitgate 2 was different. It's from a bunch of like, it's almost like a double A. It's not triple A development. It's a double. It's some guys in a dorm. They've upscaled to 200 developers with the 100 million in funding they've got. So maybe it's triple A now. It didn't start that way. It's got a different feel than say from a Microsoft or a Sony. And yeah, I mean, we'll see.
All right. Well, man, I think I have kept you here long enough. And again, I really appreciate you on, short notice, of course it is what it is, but coming through and, just telling me everything that you love about Halo and, some of the history that you've had with it, as well as some of the stuff that you're looking forward with it. Is there any other games that you're kind of looking forward to outside of Halo that may be, kind of on the horizon?
Yeah, so we've got the Gears Reloaded beta coming up this weekend. That'll be very good. Some of the boys have already been playing it. The developers left the test servers on, so if you jump on Gears Reloaded, there's a good chance you can play it right now. I'm going to cover the new Halo update tonight because you got the classic updates. That'll be very, very fun. And
you've been playing any Griffball?
It's hard on high ping. The gravity hammer does not accurately land the way I wanted to on high ping. I get obliterated. But yes, I'm going to play some for the update too. I'm actually going to be doing Destiny 2, which is going to be like a new player trying Destiny 2. And I'm going to see how bombarded I get. So that's going to be absolute pain and suffering. So that'll be funny for people to watch. I might try the finals because people said, Romy, you love cracked out gameplay. Maybe the finals would be up your alley.
Man, the finals is extremely cracked out if you want to play something like that. So yeah.
I might be able to do some cool stuff on that. And then I'm sure we'll hear more about Marathon. And I already have a beautiful thumbnail that I got an artist to hand draw for me. So once that is out, I'll do a big review about that too. So things are good. I can't complain.
What do you think Marathon needs to survive?
Doesn't have a CEO that doesn't listen to feedback from day-to-day developers and actually listens to their feedback. That would be a good start.
That was blunt. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mint Blitz, for coming through. I definitely hope to talk, or I don't know, who knows, see you out in the future. I don't know. But definitely stay tuned and check out his channel. He does have a channel over on YouTube. I put it in the description below. His Twitch as well. You can find him on Twitter, Instagram as well, TikTok. He does video clips over there as well. Find him all over the place. But you guys, make sure you guys don't just follow him. Hit that like and subscribe button over here. This is your boy Am Solo from TSWS Gaming, trying to get you guys some phenomenal content. So make sure you guys come out within, either it's going to be next week or the week after, but I'll definitely have another interview waiting for you. I am looking towards to talking to some of the people from the Dune crew. I've been really big in Dune Awakening as of lately, and I've been loving on that game. So that's kind of my treat and something that I've been playing as of lately. But Mint Blitz, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for finding a little bit of time and coming through for your boy Ham Solo. But anyways, this is it. We're out of here, you guys. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next show that is Bull Sitting with me, Matt, Cozy Beluga. I think Loke is going to be out this weekend, and I'm not sure if Mental will be there or not. I never usually know until the day of. So it is what it is. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for showing up and showing out. It's your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming coming to you, letting you know to keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out, y'all.
They said we said